everyone, good evening. I just wrapped up my work day and I'm about to start a very exciting challenge-based vlog. And that is, I am going to be doing a 24-hour reading vlog. I took a PTO day because I wanted to do this and because I've just been kind of chomping at the bit to challenge myself again. I'll prop you on my bookshelf. It was actually funny, my coworkers were like, so you're taking a day off tomorrow, like what are you doing? And I was like, just relaxing like a normal person. But anyway, I am doing another 24-hour reading period. I'm gonna try to stay up as much as I can tonight, and then I'm gonna be reading all day tomorrow. I took tomorrow off from work. I do have a few like YouTube things I'm gonna try to sneak in there, like filming and stuff, but for the most part, I'm gonna be reading from basically now until 24 hours tomorrow. I'm obviously going to be sleeping. I can't screw up my sleep schedule too much, but I will be staying up as late as I can. But the plan is to read from 6 p.m. on Thursday to 6 p.m. on Friday. But yeah, I've selected my TBR. I'm really jazzed about both the books. I hope to hopefully read from start to finish over the next 2 days. And maybe I'll even pick a third book right now, because looking at the length of these, I might need a third one. But without further ado, let's talk about the books I hope to read in the next 24-hour period. Matilda has joined me for this TBR segment, but first let's chat through the two primary books I hope to read from start to finish. The first one is Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. Hopefully I'm going to be reading quite a few Rebecca Roanhorse books before the end of the year. I've collected quite a few of them, but this is her kind of dystopian fantasy novel about a monster hunter set in kind of like a wasteland USA setting. I've heard incredible things about this. It's also not very long, so I feel like it's perfect for a readathon, which has also kind of been why I've been saving it for an instance like this. But yeah, I have heard such incredible things about Rebecca Roanhorse's writing. So I'm jazzed to read this, and then from there I'm going to read hopefully all of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is like Booktube darling right now. Everyone is reading this, everyone is loving it, and honestly I just kind of want to join in on the fun and also hopefully love it too. This is a fantasy novel following a girl named Addie LaRue, and essentially she makes a bargain where she lives forever, but with that bargain, no one can remember who she is. Like after she like leaves them, they forget her name, her face, everything. So quite hard for her to make any type of connections. But then one day in a bookstore, somebody remembers her name. So I think that's kind of like the general premise. But these are the two books I hope to read from start to finish. I definitely think I could do it, but we'll see. If I somehow finish both of these, I also grabbed From Gods of Jade and Shadow off my shelf, which is a Mayan mythology folklore based story. I love folklore reimaginings in fantasy tales, so I feel like this is going to be right up my alley. I've also heard the writing is stunning. So these are the books I have for this video. I am so excited to read all of them, and hopefully within a 24-hour period. So right now, I'm just wrapping up the last final things I need to do for work this evening, and then I'm going to start reading immediately. I'm probably gonna make like a latte. Obviously, I will probably hang out with Clay a bit tonight because, you know, that's just what you do. And I think we're actually gonna order in dinner too, so I don't have to cook, so I can focus all my time and energy on the reading. But yeah, welcome to the video. Welcome to the 24-hour reading vlog. Hopefully I don't fail, and hopefully all the books are amazing. But yeah, let's get started. I'm about to make a latte and also change into pajamas, which prompted me for wanting to show off my outfit. I'm wearing a leopard skirt, which feels very adventurous to me, for me. But I actually think it's really fun, and I thought I could layer it with sweaters and stuff. Skirts are really comfortable to work from home in, because obviously I'm not going outside at all. And I just wore it with a t-shirt. This is from Cezanne, which always makes the prettiest clothes. And then I'm just wearing socks. Glamorous look, time to change. All right, I have changed into my PJs. Well, more lounge clothes. I'm wearing my favorite little leaf sweatshirt. I also just cleaned out my ghost mug because I'm gonna make a latte and I'm gonna start reading. I think I'm gonna pick up the Trail of Lightning first. One, it's shorter than The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And two, I just have a feeling it's going to be really fast paced and I'm just gonna read it really quickly, so it'll be like a great book to read for tonight. Clay and I did order pizza, so I'll probably take a bit of a break and eat with him, but I wanna sit down, drink my latte, get some reading in, and also just give you more information about what the book is about. But yeah, coffee time. Me and my ghosty mug. are on our way to read. So I'm sitting down now. I'm about to start Trail of Lightning. A bit more context about this book is about, as I said, it's kind of set in a desolate future Earth. Basically, the climate apocalypse happened, and this is actually set on a Navajo reservation. And after this sort of apocalypse, gods and heroes of legends now walk the Earth, but so do monsters. And our main character, Maggie, kills them. And so she kind of travels around this reservation, like killing monsters, helping people in need. But then I think a murder happens and people can't really figure out the source of it. Main character Maggie like starts to suspect something larger at play. Matilda once underneath the blanket. So she begins to travel around to try to get more information. And she does this with like a very unconventional medicine man. I don't know, again, I've heard excellent things. I'm really excited. I feel like this is going to be action-packed and really fast-paced. And obviously I love anything to do with like gods and mythology come to life. So I'm gonna read this now. I think it's under 300 pages, so I'm gonna fly through it. I'm rambling. I'm actually gonna start reading. Our pizza arrived and she looks beautiful. I also got cheese sticks because obviously. So, reading update. I've read just about 40 pages of this book and I am already really liking it. One, the pacing is fast. The author definitely does the thing where she just kind of drops you into the story and you are kind of finding things out as you go along, which I actually think works super well and I'm really enjoying. For one, again, this book takes place on what was once a Navajo reservation, but it's now called Dienta, which essentially there was this sort of climate apocalypse which basically like ruined the world, ruined like governments and structure and everything. And with this reservation decided to basically block itself off from the outside world, isolate itself, become kind of an insular community, just live and work on their ancestral land. And that is where our main character Maggie lives, and she makes a living as a monster hunter, but she's kind of been like retired for the past 9 months, but she decides to take a job to find this girl. But when she does, she come across this monster that she's never really seen before, which I think is about to kickstart the rest of the book. But so far I am so intrigued by the writing, and because you're kind of dropped into the story, it's a mystery not only to figure out like how the world works, how the magic works, how the monsters work, how all of that works, but like the story is just like compelling you along because like you're given perfectly timed tidbits that just hook you right away. One, I can already tell I really enjoy Maggie as a main character. She has a complicated past which we don't really know about, but she's very capable in her profession, and I don't know, I'm just already really enjoying her, and I've literally read 40 pages. And the next thing I would say too, this book is definitely dark and very gory, but the author is really good at writing like combat and like fighting scenes. I would kind of attest at least some of the monster hunting I've encountered, kind of like zombie fighting. Obviously I don't know if all the monsters are like that, like if they're kind of like mindless brutes where she's just kind of having to like destroy them before they bite her kind of thing. But anyway, I'm rambling. So far, I really like this. I like the main character. I like the pacing. She's about to have, I think, a partner to kind of figure out the rest of what's going on. And I don't think she's going to like him. I think is going to provide some great, like, character bouncing offs. But anyway, just wanted to say, liking this a lot. I think I'm going to read this really quickly. It's not a long book either, but so I'm gonna keep reading. Just under page 100, can confirm the banter is there. Also, this book is giving me like post-apocalyptic road trip vibes, and I'm here for it. I definitely feel like I'm gonna be able to finish it tonight. I'm actually gonna take a shower right now, and then I'm gonna get back to reading, but I'm literally like over a third of the way through, because again, it's not very long, but it's so good so far. No complaints. Hi, I laundered, and then I watched an hour of the presidential debate. Then I vomited because of the presidential debate, but want to note that I still have a bunch of voting resources down below. I've had it in every single video recently, but I just want to call out to it again. Obviously, every state has different rules and processes for voting, so please check things out down below and make sure to read up on all the processes for voting in your area. So just want to shout that out again, and don't forget to vote. Voting ends on November 3rd, it doesn't start, so if you can vote early, vote early. Let's vote. But I'm gonna get back to reading now somehow and read about a post-apocalyptic world that was destroyed by a climate catastrophe. Seems on brand, so you know, Could be our near future. Anyway, I'm gonna read. Hi, so I have passed the 50% mark. I think I'm like 60% of the way done with this book. And this book is hard to put down. There's just so much that is so intoxicating about this plot. For one, it kind of opens immediately on this dark and harrowing scene of this young girl being kidnapped and kind of opening this mystery, because in this new world, the aftermath of this giant catastrophe, there are monsters, but this monster seems different from all of the rest, so it's kind of the central mystery. We follow Mags, and she's working with this medicine man named Kai, and they're trying to kind of work through that. But then the story begins to kind of expand because gods begin to get involved and almost send them on like a quest-like adventure. But I'm sure everything is connected in this narrative tale, combining with the fact that both of these characters kind of have a past that they're hiding from. Specifically, Mags has a complicated relationship with a mentor that essentially taught her everything she knows, and he left her suddenly, and she blames herself for it, and she kind of views herself as evil. That's because also in this world there's something called like clan magic, and power can manifest in individuals, and I think it has to do with like bloodline, so each power can be very much unique. Maggie's power specifically is one that kind of leaves her ostracized because her power is literally being really good at killing people. She has this sort of killer instinct. She can kind of see the move she needs to make to defeat people around her. That also sometimes means she has this moment of like rage that she can't control, and people have different abilities as well throughout this book. As I said, I'm truly flying through it. I think the setting is absolutely gripping. Again, this post-climate apocalyptic setting and this sort of insular reservation-based land, and kind of the evolution of the local politics, the town, and the structure of everything is very much prevalent. And everyone is obviously just like trying to survive. And now there's literally monsters and gods walking on Earth, and a lot of unexplained things going on. It moves so quickly. It's also not very long, but I don't feel like the length so far has been perfect. Normally I would be like skeptical picking up a book that's under 300 pages, but Rebecca Roanhorse has written and paced this out so successfully. I feel like I'm learning and seeing everything, the mystery there, the magic's explained, like everything makes sense, and it's so well crafted. Not everything needs to be 500 pages long, especially when you're able to create such a succinct and like well-written story under 300 pages. But anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm definitely, again, gonna strive to finish it tonight. Obviously, if I don't finish it, I can easily finish it tomorrow morning, as I truly only have about like 120 pages left, which is not very much. 130 pages left. But I'm just gonna keep going. I really love Maggie and Kai's relationship. Quite the opposite of each other, which makes their banter and their connection really compelling. And they obviously both have a complicated past and history, so also seeing them sort of grow closer, particularly Maggie kind of learning to possibly trust someone else, it's gold. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading. I just wanted to give you guys an update. It's all good. It's all positive. Quick, slightly incoherent note. I have made excellent progress. I have not very much of this book left. You'll be able to tell a little better. So I am going to be doing more reading, maybe finishing it tonight. We'll see, if not in the tomorrow morning. I just wanted to say I've read more. I'm really liking it still. It's kind of giving me like really screwed up, violent Percy Jackson vibes in like the best way possible. I mean, it's really nothing like Percy Jackson at all, except sort of this kind of mythological quest-like structure, which I'm a big fan of. But that is something that sort of came to mind as like a compliment, because I just love this type of structure, but it's definitely much darker and much more screwed up than like what you would obviously encounter in a middle grade story. But I feel like I had to mention that as these people are doing their tasks and their quests at the behest of a god. But yeah, I'm gonna try to finish this last little bit tonight. If not, just read as much as I can before I fall asleep. But yeah, I'm on page 220, so I've read 220 pages so far today and this evening, which I'm really, really pleased with. And obviously I have all day tomorrow to read, so good start. Hi pals, good morning. I have a cup of coffee here, and I am going to sit and finish Trail of Lightning just really quickly this morning. I have so little left. I stayed up till around 2 a.m. last night before I ultimately fell asleep with all the lights on. And I have, you know, literally less than 50 pages of this book left, so I'm just going to fly through it right now. As I said yesterday, plans for the day after I finish Trail of Lightning are literally to start The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I do need to film one video today and edit it, but that's my plans for the day. Other than that, I'm just gonna be hanging out and reading. I think I'm gonna put like my fake reading fire, it's not really reading, just my fake Netflix fireplace. Creates lots of nice ambiance. But yeah, I'm going to finish Trail of Lightning now, and I'll give my overall thoughts and feelings. But as I've been this whole video, very, very positive. I've enjoyed reading this book so much. The vibes I'm looking for on this early Friday morning, plus Matilda is vibes, just chilling on all the laundry I need to put away. Just more reason not to clean up, because I would be disturbing Matilda from her laundry throne. I've officially finished my first book of my 24-hour readathon. This book is 286 pages, so definitely off to a good start. I have to say, I really enjoyed this book from page one. I honestly loved everything about this book, from gods walking the earth and meddling with human affairs, the sort of desolate landscape combining with also monsters and our main character being a monster hunter, kind of traversing and traveling across this land with an unlikely partner, Kai, their relationship and banter, and kind of seeing them grow and begin to trust each other more was an aspect of this book I really enjoyed. But I would say my favorite part had to just be the main character, Maggie, itself. Her and seeing her growth throughout this story, I just thought was so well done. I mean, this book is not very long, with the amount of character development and character work that Rebecca Roanhorse was able to pack into this book was just exceptional. I rooted for her. I rooted for her and Kai, like facing down actual monsters and also like metaphorical monsters, like inside their own heads. I think there's another book in this series, and I definitely hope to pick it up soon, but I really liked this, and I think I'd give this like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was honestly just a gripping book from page one. But with that, I have finished my first book of the 24-hour readathon, so I'm now going to start The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm gonna make a fresh cup of coffee, and then I will start reading this book. I am gonna get ready here in like 45 minutes to film my video, and I'll take a little bit of a break to probably like eat lunch and stuff too. But I would say off to a good start. I've read almost 300 pages with this, and now I'm gonna start my second book. Actually using my Keurig this morning because Clay brewed a pot of dark roast coffee, and I just wasn't feeling that, which is why I love the little reusable cups. You can still put coffee grounds in it, but you can just brew like a single cup, which is actually so handy. But yeah, I like this guy. A cozy fire, fresh cup of coffee, and I'm about to sit and read. So good news, I have already read 50 pages of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I am already loving this book so much. I mean, I'm going into this book with incredibly high expectations. I'm also just a huge fan of E.E. Schwab's writing. I've read so many of her books, so I know when it comes to her stories and her writing style, it's something I am anticipating to enjoy. That being said, the ambiance and the vibe and how this like novel is written is just ticking all the boxes. Not to sound like a contestant on Love Island. It's just so good so far. I've only read 50 pages, so I'm only truly at the beginning of this tale, but it just has this sense of timelessness, which makes sense given that this book is taking partly in present day, but also shifting back to Addie LaRue's life in France in the 17th century when she initially made the bargain to be able to live forever. And there's also just this feeling of like sadness and loneliness, but also purpose and this drive to like seize one's life and one's opportunity and one's choice for themselves. And obviously her reality is not necessarily what she probably wanted as an outcome, but I'm just excited to see how the story continues to unfold. I love how it's told. It has this sort of like dreamy story-like element to it, which makes sense because I feel like in the beginning anyway, she's referencing a lot of like stories told to her growing up. It feels like this sort of ageless, warning-based, almost folklore story, like the tale of the girl who sold her soul to live forever and to be free. Like that's what this is, and it's just captivating me so far. I have a lot of questions. I feel like this is going to be like a book full of probably like sadness, but it's gonna be beautiful. But anyway, yeah, I've read 50 pages. I'm liking it a lot. It's a perfect book to read in the fall too. It's got great ambiance. And so far, partially taking place in New York City, which is always fun. But anyway, I am going to get ready to film now, and then I'm going to do more reading. But so far, I have read over 300 pages. So we're making progress in this 24-hour readathon. And The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, so far, living up to my very high expectations. I filmed, and now it's time to edit, and then back to reading. I have finished shooting, I have finished editing, and I'm about to get back to reading, but first I'm actually going to make some lunch. I also wanted to show off that. So our AC heater unit broke, so they came in and removed it, but now there's just a giant hole, which is what this little pink thing is for. We're not too concerned. I just hope it doesn't rain too hard. We'll figure it out if that begins to happen. But lunch is on its way, and then I'm going to be back to reading very intensely, as obviously I still hope to finish, or at least almost finish, Addie LaRue. I honestly feel like pancakes, and again, it's my day off, so I'm just doing what feels fun and right. So I think I'm gonna cook myself up some pancakes, chow down, and then I'm going to go back to reading. But I'm pretty jazzed. I filmed and edited a whole video today, so that's nice and out of the way, and now I can just focus on my reading. Gonna British Bake Off break. British Bake Off break. That's a tongue twister, and I'm gonna make my pancakes. Also, here's my OOTD as I did get dressed. Cozy. This cardigan's actually really nice. It's a little rainbow speckle moment. But anyway, time to make pancakes. It's happening. I love pancakes. I need to clean off my counter. Please don't judge me. I honestly think these pancakes deserve a handshake, Paul. Nice stack. I got my Vermont made maple syrup. I too am a Vermont maid, at least I wish. But anyway, I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna go back to reading. I'm making more coffee in the background, but look at little Miss Matilda sleeping. I am all done with lunch. I am all done with my to-do list, so I'm going to get back to reading. I have a good like 3.5 hours left of this readathon, so I'm just going to sit down, not move from the couch, and read for the next chunk of time. So I apologize in advance if all the future clips of this vlog are just me sitting on the couch, but that's just how it's gonna have to be. We love to see it. Also gonna turn my pumpkins on and put my fireplace back on. I finished my pancakes, and I'm now gonna sit with my fake fireplace on and do a chunk of reading for the rest of the day. I have about 3 hours left. You wouldn't be able to tell because it's so dark outside, but about 3.5 hours left, so I'm going to try to just do all the reading I can. Sorry, I'm setting you up so wonky, but we're about to do a reading sesh together. Whoa. Here's Millie. Hey. But yeah, we're in the home stretch, and I finished my to-do list. This is such a terrible shot, I apologize. I finished my to-do list, so we're gonna read. Isn't that right, Millie? We're just gonna get all the last final pages in. So let's do this thing. Hi, I've passed the 120 page mark. A lot of confidence I had at the beginning of this vlog, thinking I'd be able to read over 3 books. That's definitely not gonna happen, but I'll definitely have almost 2 books read by the end of this video. 120 pages in, I'm still really, really liking this story. It's still definitely an exposition zone, but I just really like how it's constructed. I feel like V.E. Schwab is finding a lot of success paralleling Addie LaRue's modern existence in 2014, like the year that she is now living, and paralleling those chapters with the past when Addie LaRue was originally cursed. All in all, this story is really sad and depressing, because part of it, not only is Addie LaRue not able to be remembered by anyone, basically like once they walk out of the room they immediately forget her, but literally like she can't leave a physical mark on the world. If she spills something, the spill disappears. She can't write anything down, like she can't like write a book about herself, like that cannot stay. She cannot physically create anything within this world that will leave a lasting impact at all. All traces of her are gone, like immediately almost, which obviously is a very difficult way to live, and that's definitely kind of explored within this story too. And even pain doesn't last for Addie LaRue. Like it disappears on her too. Like pain doesn't even remember her, but as she says in the novel, suffering does. So far at least, it's really, I've been in definitely the exposition of this story. It's starting to pick up. We've run into Henry in the bookstore, but from there, like, things still kind of need to flush out. We'll say the paralleling of the two time periods, I feel like, is creating a lot of drama and atmosphere, because in 2014, obviously Addie LaRue has been living this way for we're just about 300 years. So she has a lot of experience, she has her tricks, she knows kind of how to make it throughout the day. It doesn't mean she's happy, it doesn't mean she's not lonely, but it definitely contrasts pretty sharply to when she's originally cursed and she's overwhelmed, trying to figure things out, and is kind of like stumbling along. All in all though, you kind of really get a feeling of Addie LaRue's personality and perseverance. I mean, the reason why this has happened to her, it came from a deep desperation of wanting to feel free and make her own way. Obviously the wish was kind of construed into this terrible outcome and curse, but obviously Addie LaRue isn't letting the curse win either, or as much as she can, she's trying to still approach it how she wants to approach it, which I can respect. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I have goals to try to get to page 300, so I have about 180 pages left. I definitely think I'll be able to read that in the time I have left for tonight, and if once I pass the 300 page mark, that'll be 600 pages, over 600 pages in 24 hours, and almost 2 complete books. This book is, I think, just over, yeah, it's like just over 400 pages, so pretty much I'll have read 2 books. But I'm gonna keep reading. I will do another reading update soon, but so far so great with Addie LaRue. I'm really liking it, and I really love how V.E. Schwab is also kind of mixing in art within this narrative, because part of it too is that, well, Addie LaRue can't personally make any type of impact on the world. She's kind of found a way to go around it by convincing artists to do things that they think are their own idea, but she was involved in it, so she can see the outcome of their art and like feel like tangentially she's made an impact, kind of thing. So there's art throughout this too, like all different kinds, from music to paintings to written literature and stuff like that. So it definitely has this sort of like this atmospheric artistic vibe. But again, gonna get back to reading. It's me checking in to let you know I've read the 200 page mark of this book so far. I'm in the home stretch, and I definitely think I'm gonna be able to hit the 300 page mark before the end of this 24-hour reading vlog, which hopefully you guys, get myself in the face, have been enjoying. This book is full of so much longing. You can just feel it on every page. Like, I've always loved V.E. Schwab's writing, Victoria Schwab's writing. I feel like she's always, in my opinion, created characters that I just feel and root for, like on a deeply emotional level. I've read a lot of her books, from YA to her adult fantasy, and this book is so, like, every sentence is full of emotion. And it's also filled with all these little vignettes as well, because we're obviously speeding through aspects of Addie LaRue's life, but also experiencing these sort of daily routines that she has for herself. And she often is running into people that she's had like days with, and they don't remember her at all, but she might spend a month with them, and the emotional impact that they leave on her is still there. And you can just feel this sort of open wound that is Addie LaRue just trying to make it through, but her perseverance is just so palpable. Also, the force, the god, that cursed her with this like everlasting life that no one can remember her, visits her, I think, once a year and provides her an opportunity to like give in to him, because she basically made a bargain for her soul, and she has resisted him every year. And he also like has the facade of like her dream love, and I think Henry also kind of looks like him. TBD on that, but it's just a really mesmerizing tale. It's like a lot, there's really hasn't been a lot of action or anything. It's very much character-led about Addie LaRue, but I don't know, it has such emotional stakes and such an interesting premise, and a lot of great character work with this sort of fantastical historical story through time. It's just really captured my heart and my mind, and I'm really liking it, and I definitely feel like I will be finishing this book really, really quickly. But yeah, I'm gonna keep on reading, but I just wanted to give an update. Hey. Hi friends, popping in from the same locale this entire vlog has basically taken place to just quickly end this reading vlog. Good news, I was able to read just over 300 pages of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And this book is giving me like all the feels. It's definitely different than what I was anticipated going in. I thought it would be a little bit more of a fantastical adventure through time, but it's really just like really sad people, or like not sad people, desperate people making bargains that they shouldn't and then living with the consequences, but then finding each other and finding solace in each other. Combining that too with like chapters and views both into their past, and in the case of Addie LaRue, we're going back a long time, but even with Henry, we go back a couple of years, and I just feel so deeply rooted to these characters present in the story, and I feel like I understand them at a level that it's hard to articulate. Even if I don't agree with all of their decisions, I understand their motivations and why they've made the decisions they did, which just makes this story really, really captivating. It's much of a slower burn than I was anticipating, but I just feel like it's smart. It's so full of feeling and human want, and just like, you're just rooting for them. You want them to be happy, but you don't really know how it's going to work itself out because of the unfortunate bargains that are present within this tale. I'm really curious how this is going to expand beyond this book, because I feel like it's going to be like multiple in a series, so that really intrigues me. But I mean, 10 out of 10 for V.E. Schwab's writing, character work, and setting. As someone who lives in New York, this feels like a book set in New York. I feel like that is actually something to note, because I feel like I've read a few books in New York City that I was like, where are they? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, the timing and the shifting around the city makes no sense, but this definitely has such a feeling of place, no matter where our characters may be. But yeah, excited to finish this, but I was able to read over 300 pages. And then obviously you guys know I completed Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse, which I also had fantastic feelings for. So all in all, I would say very successful 24-hour readathon. I was able to read over 600 pages and read one book that was incredible, and hopefully this book will wrap up incredible now that I only have like a little bit left. I have a feeling it will. But yeah, both of these novels are amazing. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. And I'm so excited to read more Rebecca Roanhorse. Like, I feel like it's going to be just like a whole adventure that is going to be amazing. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.